will be completely generic. I'll not take any practical classes today. I'll give you some inputs for working on the project. Tomorrow, I will give you some files to you, but I'll explain how to work on those projects. People who have already finished, let's say I have finished Excel, I have finished Power BI, I have finished Python. So you can start working on the projects. People who have not finished anything, you can still attend and see. Suppose you think that, okay, I finished Power BI, then after that you can work on that particular project. Okay, right. So today I'll just explain about what all things you'll have to take care before you work on a project. This is very important, and I'm telling this in generic. When I say generic, I'm not talking about working on a project on Excel or Power BI or Python or VBA or anything. So this is very important session because whenever you go to a company, people are more worried about the interviews, but they're not worried about after I get the job, what I'll be working in the companies. Main thing I tell you, you should concentrate on what you'll be working on because interview anyone can pass. Sometimes what happens in interview, they'll not bother. If you have the skills, they'll just directly take. Sometimes they might ask some questions by some chance, by luck, you might get a job. But interview, sometimes you can get by luck, by reference or something you can pass. But once you go to work, that is where your real skills will come into picture. Not in the interviews only. In interviews, yes, you need skills, but sometimes there are chances that someone will actually recommend you will get the job, right? So after going inside, you have to work. If you don't have skills, what happens? Again, they'll throw you out. So this part I'll be explaining you. About the interviews part, we'll take a separate session on that. Now, I want to work on a project. First of all, what is a project? We'll think about it. So let me take one notepad. Okay, project. What is a project? Most of the people actually will feel, sir, give me one project I have to work. Sir, will you give a project? Sir, will you give live project? Will you give some projects where I can work and I can get some more knowledge? First of all, let's understand what is a project. Project is nothing but it's a task. Let's say, for example, I want to construct a house. That's a project, correct? I'll give that to some constructors, some builders. So for them, that is a project. Now what they will do, they'll start planning. What all they'll plan? The site dimension, the budget, what materials you have to. There'll be so many list of things what they actually plan, and then they'll start the project. That is a project. Suppose I want to, make a road. That's also a project. Then again, they'll plan accordingly. So project is nothing but a task which we have to complete. So here, for us, what will be the project? For us, the projects will be based on, say, analytics or reportings, dashboards, these kind of things. Understood? Now, say, for example, I want a project, say I want one reports to be created, a dashboard to be created. Then what should I do? I have to plan accordingly. Now, when I get a project, let's say I have a project, simple. Let's say I have a project where I need to create a dashboard. I have to create a dashboard. What is dashboard? Let's understand one by one. Say dashboard means it is nothing but it is a collection of reports. A collection of reports means what? A collection of reports are nothing but it can be charts, it can be tables, it can be images, it can be maps. So many things will be involved in that. Say it can be infographics, it can be so many things. Including all this, when you make a raw data to make it more easily understandable, then that is a project for us. Now, let's say I have a client, he has given me one project saying that I have to complete one dashboard. Now, what all things you'll have to plan accordingly? I have a PPT here, but I'll not go through that complete PPT. So, if you see
Sir,
here,
screen share ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
1 minute, I'll share. 1 minute. Can you see now? PPT, yeah. Can you see this?
Yes.
People? Let me close this. I'll open it again. Let me just open that. Something happened. Okay, let it be. So we'll open this notepad. Later on, I'll just see what happened. Okay, so I was talking about the dashboard. Okay. Okay. So what is dashboard? I told you it is nothing but collection of reports where we have the charts, graphs, maps, tables, images, infographics, anything which will make us easily understand it. Now, what all things are required for us for working on a project? My project is dashboard. Now, what all things will have to take care? Say, first thing is I need to get the raw data. I'm just telling you all the steps, what you'll have to follow. Follow these steps. I'll tell you any project, any given project for you, it will become easy. Now, when I say raw data, what is raw data? What is data? Data is information, right? Data is information. Raw data is what? Which is uncleaned, unstructured, just like that, whatever is there, it is a dump which is given by the client. Now, this raw data, how are we actually taking? Are we taking it in a bag? Or, just like in a computer, we can just carry it? No. The data will be in some formats, correct? Some data sources, some sources. What is that sources? The data can be in Excel, CSV, TXT format. Okay, it can be in SQL Server. Okay, Access, MySQL. I'm just giving you some idea. Okay, Oracle, or it can be in web page, or it can also be in PDF, and it goes on, right? So my raw data can be in any of these formats. Now, when I say raw data, it is not structured, it is not cleaned, it is directly coming from the client. Also, it can come from the web page or anywhere. But imagine if everything is fine, which is ready with all the columns, records, everything is fine, I can start creating the reports. But suppose if it is not clean, then we have to clean the data. For that, we call it as data cleaning. You have to clean the data. Otherwise, how will I actually create the reports accordingly? Now, when I say clean the data cleaning, then you have to go here. Say data cleaning can be, there are many steps actually for data cleaning. Let's say we have to structure the data. That means, suppose if the data is in column wise, you have to bring that into row wise, or say record wise, bring them into column wise. So I'm just trying to structure it according to my requirement. Not always. These are some of the possible steps I'm telling, but not always they are necessary. Delete unwanted records, columns. Delete unwanted records or columns. We call it as remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. Or it can be removing all the unwanted records. Say, for example, I have 4 regions. In that 4 regions, I want only 2 regions. 2 regions has to be removed. Okay. So what should I do? I have to filter that, delete it, right? Suppose I have unwanted some duplicate records are there, right? Then we have to remove all the duplicate records. So there are various different things what we can actually do. So we can, follow this process. I'm just giving a generic idea about what all you can do before creating the project. Okay. After this, so we'll be deleting unwanted records or columns. Modify. Suppose, let's say I have Bengaluru. In some place we have Bangalore. In some people would have typed BLORE. All these 3 are same city names. You have to clean that. You have to modify. We're not deleting it. We are modifying it. Understood? So there are sometimes we get the data like this. You have to clean it. Say, we'll go here. We'll say modify, transform data. Understood? I'm just telling you what all things you have to take care before starting the project. Now, when I say modify, transform the data, it can include so many things. Say, for example, I have the customer name all in small letters, all in capital letters. I want to change that into proper case. You have to transform that. I have, say, I'm creating one sales reports. I have the order IDs where the order IDs, it's like country name, year, some code, so many things are there. I want to split that, right? I want to split that. Then what will I do? I'll try to extract the data into separate columns, split the columns. So I'm just telling you some ideas, what all things you'll have to do. Sometimes you know what happens? The data is on columns. I need to unpivot that. Pivot. So all this comes under Power Query editors, right? If you undergone all this, so it'll be easy for you to understand. So we have to make sure that the data is completely perfect. When I say perfect, so we call it as the quality of the data. Quality, data quality. If you want to have an PPT on that, data quality means we are just trying to give the quality 100% so that we can create a nice project in a simple way. Okay, right. So these are some of them. So there are so many lists. It goes on. Suppose if you go in detail, so it will go on. That you have already learned in Excel and Power BI or Tableau, so you can understand that. Yeah. Okay. After my data is ready, okay, my data is ready. Then comes the data modeling. So what is data modeling? Okay. Now data modeling means, suppose I have the data coming from different tables. One table is coming from Excel, one table is coming from SQL Server, one is coming from text file. I cannot always plan or say, tell the client, say, I want all the data in one particular application only. We cannot tell. There'll be separate departments, right? One department, they are actually working in Excel. They say, okay, we are working in Excel. So we are giving this data in Excel. Some people will say, no, we have the data in a text file. So we are giving that in a text file. Yes, they'll give it in a text file. So when they give something like this, we'll have to make sure that all these tables are connected to each other. So for that, we take the data from different sources. Then we'll try to modify accordingly a structure or anything. We will modify that according to my requirement. Then I will start working on data modeling. That is, we are connecting or say joining the tables. We can also say merging the tables. Okay. And we can also say create relationship. Then we'll say append the data. Understood? Append the data means what? We're trying to combine the data one below the other. Say I have 10 files. Okay, and data is in 10 different files. So I'll try to append the data one below the other. Done. So now we understood the raw data. Then we collected the data from various different sources. Then after that, I'm trying to clean the data. Why? Because I need to have a proper structured data so that I can create a very nice reports easily. The next, we're trying to connect all the data sources. Once this is done, Once this is done, next is you have to think about, do we need any calculations, any other calculations apart from the data what we have? Understood? So for this, we create formulas, calculations. So we call it as calculated columns or measures. Understood? So we are trying to create some columns or measures. Suppose if you think you want to create some more tables, you can create that as well. So for this, we use what? We use formulas, functions. We can also use queries. Understood? Right? I'm just trying to make things simple so that you people can easily understand and work on the project according to these steps. Okay. So we understood about things which we can work on the data part. Right. Now everything is fine for me. The complete data part is ready. The next part is about the dashboard. Let me see if I can open this. Don't know why it's not opening. Just trying to open PowerPoint and see directly. I think there's a problem with the PPT only. Not opening. Okay, leave it. Let it be. We'll use our notepad only. Okay. All right. Next is about dashboards. Now, my project, which is a dashboard which I need to create, right? So what all things you have to take care in this particular stage? We have the data, we clean the data, you are modeling it, and everything is fine. Now you have to create the reports. First thing, say, I want to create a dashboard. What all things will have to take care in dashboard? First thing is we have to plan. Planning is very important, not only in this stage, even in the before while getting the data also, there is a planning. So that's what you have listed. Now, what is this planning you have to do? The layout. The layout has to be planned. What is the meaning of layout? Layout means I have the reports to be placed, where the buttons has to be placed, where the filters has to be placed, where the logo has to be placed. I have some buttons, navigation buttons from one page to another page I need to navigate. If you go to web page, you have a lot of things, right? I'll click on about, then I'll go to about. Contact us, I'll go to contact us. Similarly, what all reports you have to make, you have to plan, you have to create the layout. This layout, the planning, whatever you're doing, you have to write it down in a paper or a whiteboard or anywhere, just a rough sketch. Don't directly go and design in Excel, Power BI or Tableau or something. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. I'll tell you why. Now, I have a layout which I've created and everything is fine. I'll send to client. He'll say, no, this is not good. Then again, you'll have to rework, right? So what you do, take a paper or on a whiteboard, anywhere, just make a rough dashboard layout. How my buttons has to be here, my report has to be here. You're just trying to write down and show that to your seniors. Say it can be your manager or directly to your client. Now the client, what he will do, or your manager will say, no, this button is not required. This report is not required. So all the changes will mark it. Why I'm telling you this is more easy for me rather than directly going and creating in the Excel. Some people what they do is they create in PPT. So that is also okay. But don't directly start creating the dashboard itself. So layout, once it is done, so it is approved by the client saying that yes, all these layouts are fine. Whatever layouts are there, you can start working on. In this layouts, You have to plan everything, right from the buttons to colors to fonts to everything you have to plan. After this, once the layout is approved, the next thing is you have to plan for which application to use. But this application selection, sometimes it happens in the beginning only. Saying that client will say, I want the project in Excel, then we'll concentrate only on Excel. Some people will say, okay, we'll go ahead with Power BI, fine. But there are situations. What happens is the client is totally confused whether he has to go with the project with Excel or go with the Power BI, Tableau, or directly go or say just do some automation only in Python. There are so many various different things. For that, we have to plan accordingly. So either you have to finish selecting the software in the beginning, everything is confidently saying that yes, I have to work in Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or you can go at this stage after creating the layout, then will come an idea, say in Excel we cannot do this, or in Power BI we can do this, in Tableau we can do this. So at that stage also you can select. So we'll say select apps or application. That is, it can be Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or any other dashboard development tools. Understood? Okay. Once this is done, then in the layouts, we'll have to start planning for what kind of charts we'll have to create. Okay. So here, when I say layout, so here we'll be choosing about the placement of buttons, slicers, filters, banners, logo, navigation button. Okay, and this goes on like this. And next is about reports. You have to place the reports now. What is the reports? Say whether I should create the reports in column chart. See, in the layout, you might ask, in the layout itself, we could have done that. Right? In layout only we could have planned a column chart or pie chart or something. No, don't do that. So in the layouts, I want one chart, sales versus profit. I want one chart, sales by region. I want one chart, monthly report. So you only plan about what kind of reports has to become. So in that layout, what reports has to come, that's all. But while creating the reports, you can decide whether it can be shown in column chart, because by creating, what happens, we can plan, say, here I have one pie chart. So instead of pie chart, we'll take donut chart, so that inside we'll have some summarized reports. I'm just telling the ideas can change. The reports, it's always not that you have to go and create only column chart. You can create pie chart or say donut chart. Inside that I'll have some summaries. So it is left to you. Now you can plan accordingly. Now you can ask them, what if the client say, no, I don't want this chart? Changes will happen. You cannot avoid. But the layout has to be finalized. Imagine I have one report. I want to show sales versus profit. I can show that either in line chart or I can show it in a clustered chart, but I cannot show it in pie chart because it will be two different charts otherwise. Now your client, if you say no, I don't want the line chart, I want the column chart, you can change the charts. But if you change the layout itself, how much time it will take? So layout has to be finalized. Charts, anyways, you can go, you can create, and after that, we can change because reports remain same. The visual might change. Understood? So these are the things you have to plan accordingly. The problem with many of the people, I tell you, they start working on the layout, they'll create the reports, they'll think that okay, Power BI is very easy, we'll finish it up. Imagine 3 to 4 days you have worked, and fifth day you're sending to client, and you'll say, I didn't even tell you that this report has to be there. I don't want this layout. Change the complete layout. Then what happens? First thing is waste of time, and the client will not pay for that 4 days, whatever you have worked. He'll pay only for the the decided or say the proposed time only. So it is actually efforts for you, which is of no use. All this, okay? So what I'm telling is, all these plans has to be done. That's why, see, today I could have started one project. Today I could have started and I've given you one project, right? But it's not like that. First, you should know, not only here, you go to any companies, you take any freelancing projects. So this is how actually you have to plan. Okay. Now, if you see, I say reports. Reports means visualizations. Okay. It can be maps. It can be images, say icons, infographics. Okay. Again goes on like this. Tables. Yes, tables also. Understood? So likewise, you can actually plan. Okay. Now, after this, what? I created the reports, everything is fine, navigations are ready, everything is fine. Now, what I have to do, this particular finalized project, you have to send it for QC. What is QC? Quality check. Now, this quality check is done in different stages. So we have something called as case studies. Case studies means, suppose I have regions. I want a result in particular manner. I'll make one list of selections. East, the product name. They say East laptop. I should get this much of value. When I go and check in the dashboard, I should get that value only. If it is mismatching, then there is a problem with the calculations. There's a problem with the reports. Manually, we'll create all the values and keep it. In Excel, we can create all these calculations and manual results will be there. Dashboard results will be there. The reports will be there. When you actually select that and if you compare that, if both matches, then my dashboard is perfect. So these kind of checks will happen. So what all checks? One is they'll start checking the data. That is one kind of checks what you have to do. Other checks, the functionalities, whether the buttons are working properly. Now say for example, I have a sales report. If I click on button sales, it will go to sales only. What if it is going to somewhere else? It is wrong. For me, it is like the navigation is wrong. But for client, it is the report itself is wrong. Correct? So those kind of checks has to be done. Formatting, the alignment, it should be very proper. Alignment, the font colors. When I say orange color, that itself will have different shades, right? So we have to go and check that. Two color shades. I'm just giving an example. So whatever color it is, you have to make sure that it is matching your client's requirement, the standards. Okay, once the QC is done, fine, everything is fine. See, in this case, it's a say QC is the crucial stage. Why? Because you already completed the project and still the checkings are going on. If there is no issues, nothing, fine. If there are issues coming, you know how it will be. Again, I have to go and check from scratch. QC will happen here also. It's not that you not do here. Every stages QC will happen, but I'm just giving you this here because that is the final stage. All the QCs will be done, not only on the dashboard, it will be on the data, the values, the calculations, the formatting, the reports, the navigations, everything will be QC. The QCs will happen from our side, also from the client side. Both will actually check, right? Once everything is fine, then we actually deliver the project. Deliverables. Now, in this stage, there are various different ways where we deliver the project. How? First, the client asked, I want the entire source. So whatever we have done, whether it is in Excel, Power BI, Tableau, whatever, we'll give it. She will take her next. So you publish from your end. That means take the entire project and put that to cloud. So we'll do that from our end. So deliverables are depending on the client requirement. Some clients are not, they're not even bothered whether you're doing in Excel or Power BI or whatever. They just want only the reports and export it in PPT. So each project differs from requirements. Depending on your requirement, you have to plan all these. But in general, these are the steps. That is the data. Then after that, the dashboard. See here itself, there are so many steps actually. I'm just telling you what all you have to keep in mind while working on a project. Now, after this, once it is delivered, there are so many other things. Next, the sales team will actually take care. And there are so many other teams. The technical heads will be there. If any issues come, then again they'll come back. Any requirements will come. Extra requirements, additional requirements, they'll come. So this goes on. This is the project. I guess you've got an idea about how actually the project works. Keep this in mind. People, I'll tell you, if you have this in mind, whenever you get any project, you can easily work on that. If you are not understanding this process, unnecessarily, what happens? People will just keep on, working and not know which step to follow. Then finally they'll say, they'll create one project. Then after that, they don't know what data to be taken. Then again, they'll get the data and they don't know where to connect with the reports. Don't do that. Okay. Just have the plan. I have 5 days for finishing the projects. Take 2 days completely for planning. You can finish the project within 1 day or 2 days. If your planning is not proper, even if you give 1 month also, you cannot finish the project. So first thing is plan very neat. Right from scratch till end, whatever you think has to be delivered, plan. And then go step by step. Break the task step by step, step by step. Okay, right. So tomorrow I'll be giving you some projects which have already worked. Okay, this is from the companies Accenture, PwC, and Tata, that is TCS. I'll give you the one more Goldman Sachs one project is there. That the files are there, but I have not made any video out of it. So I'll be giving you all these videos tomorrow. But before I give the videos, I'll explain all the process. Take 1 week. From tomorrow, take 1 week. You have weekend or whatever. Work on that. Submit it. I'll explain how to submit, how to work on the project, how to submit, what all files are there, what all you have to do. Everything, 3 projects I'll give you tomorrow only. Finish those 3 projects, one by one you submit, you get your certificate, and after that I'll tell you what you have to do. Those internship certificates are very, very useful, which you can apply in your resume as well. Okay, so that will do, right? Fine. I'll stop here. If you guys have any questions, any doubts, please ask me. I will answer. First, let me ask people online and then I'll get back to you. All right, Chakravarti, Sahana, Karthik.
No doubt, sir. No doubt.
No questions?
No questions for me.
Okay, people offline. Any questions? Hemant? All right, so I'll stop here now. So tomorrow we'll work on the projects. I'll explain about the projects. I'll give you all the data, everything. I'll give you work on that. That is very, very useful for your profile. That can be also included in your projects in your say resume. You'll get a certificate also that you can go and submit in the companies for interviews. Tomorrow, same time, people, same time. Same time, same link. Okay. All right. Right, people, take care all of you. Bye-bye.